isolated watching.
Yeah, so like some of the jokes are sort of female only, like oh, how difficult it is being a woman, and there is some of that. But
of course,
a lot
some
of
is
it,
bound to be in it.
Yeah, but a lot of it is actually genuinely funny for anyone.
So it's a good film.
So it's a good film, and I think if you're bored,
watch it.
go and watch it. If you've got nothing else to do, like it's not a complete waste of money, basically.
Right. If you've got nothing else to do, don't watch Valerian. That's my.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna throw it.
I'll give a quick throw. Yes, I watched Valerian starring Dan DeHaan and Cara Delevingne, who's suddenly in these massive movies for some reason. But
don't understand that.
And on paper, it's such a great film. It was like the cinematography, the production, everything's amazing. The whole space universe they have, but it's just the main two leads are just so unbearable, and you have no reason to care about them whatsoever, and they just utterly kill the movie. And they really shove this romance in front of us. We're like, who are they? How long have they been together? Answer nothing.
There's no backstory.
There's no backstory. And the best character, Rihanna, is hard. Rihanna's the best character, surprisingly.
No, I can't. I don't believe this.
Her character has more development in like 5 minutes than the other two in the entire movie.
You're gonna have to wait
and she's barely in it. Netflix. So yeah, so that was rather disappointing. But
no, because I haven't seen it myself, but they do come across like they don't have enough charisma to pull off a big.
To be honest,
like that.
The film itself is really nice. Like, there's so much to work on. It's just they don't really go anywhere with it. It's like such a massive. It's all these aliens. They've got 1,000 races to work with, and they focus on the two blandest people on the colony. So whatever. So let's move on to the main reviews of the show. So we got coming up Annabelle Creation, and firstly The Dark Tower, which Alenya has kindly gone and watched. So I'll give a quick description. The Dark Tower is an adaptation of The Dark Tower by Stephen King. It stars Idris Elba as the last gunslinger who has to save the world from a guy called the Man in Black.
The Man in Black.
From Matthew McConaughey, who's mysterious Man in Black. And basically his universe is clashing with Earth's universe, and he has to stop them, otherwise we all die, basically. The
premise is really weird. There's a tower at the center of the universe.
Is it a dark tower?
Yeah, it is in fact a dark tower, and it protects all of the universe and all of the other planets. So like Earth is one of many planets within this universe that's been protected.
Cosmos.
And outside of the protection layer coming from the tower, there are all these demons trying to get in, and you do see one of them, and it's quite cool. It's probably quite scary if you came face to face with it.
I'm sure.
And it like, although you have Idris Elba and you have Matthew McConaughey, the story actually revolves around a child played by Tom Taylor, who's sort of relatively unknown in a film called Dr. Foster, which I've never seen.
Nor have I.
But he has these visions of the tower, of Matthew McConaughey, of Idris Elba, and obviously he has visions, so people think he's crazy. So his family want to ship him off to an insane asylum. But it's like the mind of a child is the one thing that can destroy the Dark Tower.
Apparently it can't affect children, the influences of the tower, if I recall, or is that what was in the trailer?
No, like they use the powers of a child's mind to try and destroy the tower.
Oh, okay.
So Matthew McConaughey and all these other weird rat-looking people try and destroy the tower. I don't know if this is coming across, but I didn't really like it.
To be honest, right, looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score, it's at 16%, which is really I didn't expect I wasn't really that interested in this movie anyway. Judging from the trailers, it looked a bit like bruh. Well, but I didn't think Idris Elba, Matthew McConaughey, they're massive stars.
They're really good actors, and even in this, though it's massively cliched, full of so many plot holes, but their acting remains good, which is great. The list of cliches is just endless. It's like a crazy homeless man comes and tells you that you're actually being chased by people. You need to run away. The end is nigh. Mean stepdad tries to get rid of the child. There's
never a nice stepdad in any of these films. All stepdads are mean.
Cliche dead father. Man loses his faith and uses the child to help him regain faith in himself. He's like, I'm not a gunslinger. And then at the end he's like, I am a gunslinger. Thank you, random child that I met like 10 minutes ago.
I think talking about cliche, you have to look at the director. So I looked at his Nicolaj Arcel. I'm not really familiar with his work. Some Danish. Yeah, and
he's had like 7 directorial jobs.
Yeah, his last movie was a Danish drama about the royal affair, which is back in 2012. So it's like, is he really the right guy to do a film like this? I
think the issue is the book just hasn't transferred very well into film. There's so many plot holes. It does make me want to go and read the book.
I was going to say, have you read the book?
I haven't read the book, but it makes me want to read the book and be like, Stephen King has to have written better than this. Because I like the
I doubt he's...
But like, there's no motivation behind the Man in Black. You don't know why he's doing what he's doing. Why does he want to destroy...
So they don't actually resolve that? Or they don't really go into it, really?
Like, and he doesn't really come across... He just comes across
so he's just
as someone
bad for the sake of being bad. One of those kind of lazy...
He doesn't come across as like crazy or insane. He just comes off as kind of indifferent. Like, he walks past someone and just goes, stop breathing. And they fall dead. And then that's it. It's
like Kilgrave from Jessica Jones, but probably not as intense, I think, because David Tennant absolutely nailed that role and the intensity. Where I don't think you're saying he's probably not the same level. He's got the same powers, but just doesn't feel that.
Yeah, he has like magic, which he calls magics, which really annoyed me.
Magics, wow, how creative! Give the screenwriter an award.
And then you had Idris Elba again. He was good, and the shooting with his guns, it was really, really cool.
Well, he's a gunslinger, so he should be adapt with a gun, I suppose.
That was pretty good. But it feels like something my friend said to me when we saw it was like, feels like it should just be on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, so like, I mean, the budget was 60 million, so that is quite a massive budget to have
just on the budget
for a film which is a bit blur.
So like, there's no reason why McConaughey wants to destroy the tower. There's no reason why there are people following him.
He's just evil. He's just evil. Just have to accept that he's evil.
Why are these other rat people following them? Why do they have fake skin that keeps on falling off all the time? And he just seems like a kind of cartoon evil killer, kind of like Judge Doom from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but less scary.
So I see a lot of hatred for this. Anything nice to say about it? There must be some.
I would say that the acting is pretty good, and there was one thing that I really liked. The kid is kind of smart, so he, he immediately realizes that the people who have come to take him to this clinic, he immediately realizes that they're evil and they've come to kidnap him.
So he's not one of those annoying kids.
And then like, he has a vision about a house, so he draws it. He's a very good drawer as well for like a.
Well, it's got a future.
Yeah, exactly. But he takes a picture of it, puts it online, and asks the internet where
that always goes well. Asking the internet.
But then there's loads of things, and it's exactly how you think it would go. People going, I have no idea, sorry, joke, like horrific answer, and then someone going, yeah, I know this is my old hood. And then like, there's a bit where he runs away from the people trying to kidnap him, runs into the subway, runs straight back out again to lose them.
Smart.
And exactly. And he's kind of he's brave in some situations as well.
I think with kid actors, they can always make or break a film. Like, have you seen The Purge, the first one?
No.
There's a kid character in it. He is just utterly stupid. And like, the first few seasons of the movie, like, I just wish you just died now, man. He's like, he does everything, like, he's there for the sake of the plot moving along.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh my, you're such a dumb kid. Yeah. So it's nice to see a kid who actually uses a bit of nous.
So
and a bit of...
That was good. Yeah, the ending just seemed kind of rushed. Like, all of a sudden, they say this mantra to each other. I aim... He who aims with his eyes has forgotten the face of his father, and it goes on to this whole thing, and they're saying it to each other, and it's really, really...
Doesn't he mention that in the trailer? I don't aim with my eyes, I aim with my heart. So it's
I don't kill with my gun, I kill with my heart. And I'm like, well, that's terrifying. But no, Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba, the script that they have, they played it really well.
Yeah, I suppose if you're given a bad hand, you just got to make the most of it.
I have more questions coming out than I did going in.
So does this set up for a future film out of interest, or do they kind of hold back a bit? Because a lot of films have a tendency to bait a sequel, even though the film's a bit lukewarm. So does this go down that route, or does it no?
Yeah, it does and it doesn't. So I don't want to spoil anything for it, but it's that kind of ending where it can just end where it is. But if they wanted to continue it, because also I don't know where the book starts and ends. So I don't know where that is. Like, I really want to go and actually investigate it and see what the differences are.
At least it's got you intrigued in the books, I suppose.
But the one thing that me and my friend, we really didn't like was the self-representation of other Stephen King books. Okay. So there was a really prolonged close-up on a St. Bernard, which is Cujo. One of the destination coordinates for the portal that they're using is 1408. Room 1408.
So he's mentioning all his other works.
Yeah, and then there was the magic that the child had is called the Shining.
Oh, wow.
And there was
very sharp there.
Yeah, there's like an abandoned theme park, and there's a mist, and there's monsters there, and it's like the mist. And I just
Probably Stephen King probably had a bit of decent money for that stuff. So,
yeah.
But to be honest, though, that you know, they got It coming out, which is another Stephen King novel. So hopefully that.
I do want to see that.
Yeah, hopefully this doesn't, you know, they can recover from this, because right now, you know, probably his name's a bit tainted movie-wise. Obviously not from the books, but, you know, if one of his movies with his name's on it, right, it's like Stephen King's The Dark Tower. If the movie flops, it kind of gives a bad taste in the mouth.
I just think, like, it looked great, the acting was great. I think just the screenplay fell short. There's so many plot holes, so many cliches.
Does it deserve 16%?
Yeah. Like, everything before the kid goes through the portal to, like, mid-planet or whatever, everything before that is a plot device. Everything.
Scathing. But, you know, at least there were some good things about it. So, if you want to give a quick conclusion, how would you...
plot holes galore.
Plot holes galore. Fascinating. At least you can go home on the internet and read up on all the plot holes. That's always one way to look at a bad movie.
Yeah.
You go home and you research online. This did not make sense, and ask Reddit, and you can find a massive thread on all the stuff that didn't make sense.
That's what the kid did.
Is it? Oh, smart kid.
It is. See, a smart kid using his resources.
Right. So that's great. That brings us to the end of this review. Afterwards, we'll be moving on to Annabelle Creation.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you've seen Annabelle Creation.
Yes, I have.
It's the sequel to the previous Annabelle, I guess.
Yes.
I'm not really into horror movies. They don't scare me. I'm not a fan of like cheap jump scares. So
Fair enough.
I'm gonna leave this.
I'll leave this to you.
To you to go over, and
So
I'll ask you some questions.
I'll give a brief history then about it. So this is all part of the Conjuring universe. So
I saw The Conjuring.
Yes, you got Conjuring and you got Conjuring 2. So Annabelle appears in like The Conjuring. You see the doll lying around. So this is like a spin-off from The Conjuring.
Okay.
So there was the first Annabelle movie. I think it came out 2012 or 13, one of those years, a few years ago. Yeah, and it just wasn't. I mean, it performed quite well in the box office, but critically, fans and critics alike just did not like the movie.
Yeah.
So you know, this one came along. You know, similar to Origins of Evil last year, which is like a sequel to the disappointing Ouija, and Origins of Evil actually was so good it saved the train wreck that was the first one.
I mean, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was horrible. So, you know, hopefully this one would do the same for Annabelle. You know, actually bring it back to the forefront rather than, because the main Conjuring series is really good. So this one, you know, you think they could do a bit more with it, and I think they did a really good job.
Okay.
So, where should I start? Let's say, actually, I'll go back to director. So the director is David Sandberg. He did Lights Out last year.
Oh, we really liked that.
Yeah, Lights Out was amazing. So when I saw it was him, I thought, you know what? I got an inkling that it might be actually kind of good.
Okay.
Because Lights Out was great. It was a neat concept, and you know, you didn't really rely too much on the general horror tropes.
Yeah.
And it was really good. So I thought, you know what? This guy's a good director. Let's see what he can do. After Origins of Evil, maybe I can give this a second chance, and see where it goes. So what I liked about it, I think it is actually. Well, I got what the film was about. So it's about orphans, little girls. So that's already creepy off the bat. It's following a group of creepy girls.
Children are scary.
So this movie looks at a group of orphans who move in with a family who are suffering the loss of their own daughter from a couple of years ago. It's all revealed in the beginning, so no spoiler alert. So this new group of kids move into this massive house in the middle of nowhere. It's already setting up a bad storyline. So they move in and they realize, you know, things aren't all what it seems. So what I liked is probably the characters I actually cared about. So the two leading girls, they're quite young, about 13 or 14. So one's played by Lulu Wilson. So she was in Origins of Evil actually. Okay. So if you saw, you probably recognize her. It's the exact same role pretty much. But these two kids have a really good friendship, and you kind of feel for them when stuff hits the fan.
No.
Like, you know, because there are some films you don't really care about the guys. They're like, if they die, I don't care, just die, you're stupid anyway. Some characters in horror films are just there to be murdered in it. But in this one, you know, they got such a tight connection with each other. And the fact she's got polio, which makes her cripple, so she has to walk around with a crutch and leg brace.
Who gets polio?
Well, this is set in the 50s or 60s. So
that makes more sense.
Yes. This is set back in, I'm thinking in the mid 60s, something like that. So as soon as you see she's got polio, everyone in the cinema was like, oh no, she's gonna be the one the demon chases after her. You just know, because it's gonna be her. She's got the crutch, and you're like, oh god, yeah, that's the one that's gonna be haunted.
Oh.
So, and I think this film is a game of two halves. Yeah, so the first half is very tense. It's you don't really see much. You see this creepy doll, which I hate, but the thing is, the doll never moves in the movie.
Yeah.
It just sits there for every time it appears. It just sits there. So,
and it just appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, you can see where it appears, but it's always like lingering in the background. So the director does a really good job of just keeping the doll in focus.
But never like the
it's
main
never like
subject.
Yeah, it never like jumps at the girl. Like she's in the room, right?
That would be cheesy.
Yeah, so like you see the girl exploring the daughter's room, the dead daughter's room.
Okay.
Which is which obviously is a bit weird already. Like, why do you have this room still for your dead daughter? So like she's exploring the room, and you see the doll in the background just sitting there, and you kind of like, is it gonna move? It never does, but you got the feeling always.
You're watching it because
you're
gonna move. I know you're gonna move.
Yeah, I know it's gonna move, but it doesn't move. Like every scene it's in, it's just there annoying you.
It's just ominous.
It's ominous, basically.
Okay.
That's what he builds up really well. And like the first half is basically all of that. It's setting up this whole second half of the movie, pretty much. But what I didn't like was the second half of the film. It just got very, very. It gets very different. First half's all intricate, mind games, who's evil. But as soon as they reveal like the demon, it kind of becomes more of a generic.
You lose it.
Yeah.
You lose that like tension.
Yeah, like I mean, it's same with what was it? Was it Lights Out or Don't Breathe? One of them. It was Lights Out. When they reveal the monster there.
Oh, right at the beginning.
Yeah, I was like,
the one thing we said was not okay.
Don't reveal the monster too early. I mean, they reveal the monster at the midway. Fair enough. But the monster talks. I'm like, oh, don't talk. He's ruined that whole. Like, obviously, he's talking because he's possessed the kid, but it's just like, like as soon as the monster's revealed, it's like it just becomes a slasher movie. Like, it gets surprisingly graphic for a movie which doesn't really suggest any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people getting ripped in half. There's people's eyes getting gouged out. I'm like,
maybe I should watch it.
I'm like, where did this come from? It was so nice and intense for like the first half. It's building up. Then suddenly, the Once the Goat demon gets in rage mode. And it's just tearing everything up. Oh, it gets very different. And to be honest, I just didn't really enjoy that half as much as I did the first half, because the characters are great and I really cared for them. And I think that's the main important thing in a horror film.
Yeah.
If you don't care about the survival of them characters, it
needs to be like Game of Thrones.
that's too emotional, man. When that character dies, you're just like you're in mourning for the next few days. So that's my great thing. The two are interesting. Cinematography is great. The way they do all the scenes. So I mean, there's a couple of scenes such as there's a scene where the girl's seen the demon and she runs away and she goes into her room to like hide, and she's got a toy gun, right? So she wants to she shoots this toy gun, like a ball on a string. So she shoots the ball, she just put it back, and the ball comes back and she shoots it again.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it's not really the greatest weapon of choice against a demon, but it's what she's got. She's a kid.
So I'm gonna propel a ball on a string.
But what works really well is the camera zooms into darkness. She shoots the ball. She just slowly turns it back and nothing comes out. She shoots again, then she tries it and suddenly something grabs onto the ball and the string tightens up. And it's just like the way it's done, these little scenes for really, really like fascinating. Same with the tea, they had a tea set. So the girl has a little, and the girl's having a little tea dinner with like the doll and stuff. And oh god, this is just, you just know something's gonna go wrong here. And so those stuff I liked, but I think once a demon kicked in and started raining havoc on everyone, I was like,
I just lost.
It just, that's what I got, and it's a bit inconsistent as well.
Yeah.
So this house is full of, you got the main family, the father and mother. So they're already a bit weird. The dad's shut in. He doesn't talk. He just sees the girls and glares at them. He doesn't really interact with them much. The mum is, she's trapped in her room. She doesn't leave her room. So due to something that's revealed later on in the film.
Okay.
So only the husband goes in there to see her when she rings the bell. So you don't really see her. So it builds up a bit of tension there. The kids try and have a glimpse of her when the door opens, but you never actually see her until the end. So they're not very, they're in the house. You also got about 6 or 7 girls. They're the orphans. And the nun who looks after them. So there's about 8-9 people in the house.
Yeah.
But some scenes so when everything's happening, it's not believable. The little girls, right? So if they saw a demon, they'll be screaming, they'll be running. But these kids take it really well. They're quite mature. So there's one scene where she gets into a bunk bed, right? And she knows something's down there. She can hear it walking. She sees footprints, and she's scared, right? She looks down to see something. Instead of screaming or making a havoc, because there are other people in the house, she can yell,
Yeah.
At least try, even if the demon's got in some little dimension where she can't do anything. But she just sits there rather calmly. I'll just sleep it out.
Just go back to sleep.
And she goes to sleep.
It won't hurt me.
I know.
That is not how this works.
I'm like, that's a very mature adult thing to do. I'll just sleep it, you know, maybe be gone. But for a kid, they'll be yelling and screaming. People.
Yeah, exactly. See, this is what I don't like about sort of modern horror movies and stuff. There's no tension in. There's just people running around like headless chickens, screaming their heads off, running into doors.
To be honest, I wanted them to be screaming a bit more because it didn't really make sense for the characters. Like, I mean, you're little kids. You shouldn't really be handling in such a mature way. Like, you know, I don't look down there. If I look down there, the demon's down there. I'm just gonna chill up here for a bit. And I'm safe.
And I think when it comes to children, they're a little bit more open to the unknown. Like if you have like the kid in, say, the Amityville Horror, and she's seeing a ghost and she's talking to it, and it's like, it's my friend.
The thing is, though, some of the girls do like some scenes they do scream and yell and make a scene. Some scenes they just like take it really well. It's a bit like.
Oh, that's the controversy.
Yeah, it's like I know it's a bit like, come on, man. They're either screamers or they're not. Like you can't randomly be totally.
You can't be both.
You can't be both, exactly.
And if the demon is behaving in the same way, then the girl should be behaving in the same way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a scene where like the girl's wheelchair gets taken because she ends up in a wheelchair, and she ends up in a wheelchair due to stuff. And there's a scene where she literally gets like dragged across the entire field into a shed.
Yeah.
But her friends are playing like just down there around a tree and stuff, you know, doing what kids do. But like they don't notice that her friend, who's screaming her face, of course, she's being carried by a nun into this random shed, you know, like against her will. So you think, and she, like no one notices. Like, why doesn't anyone notice? Like they never really explain why. I got a feeling the demon has some sort of like control of the dimension, so you know, it only affects the people it's like after, and everyone else doesn't really notice.
Everyone's kind of like.
So you can isolate.
There's a wall there.
Exactly, but they don't really go into that saying that there is a wall. It's just you just assume there is. So I'm assuming there is a wall, or some sort of like little thing that the demon has. So you can do this stuff and mess around with them and not really, you know, affect the others. But they don't really say that.
So are there really cheesy, cheap jump scares?
There are some jump scares, obviously. I mean, the music obviously sets it up. Yeah. So I mean, there are bits where like. So she has a stair lift because she has problems walking, and like she comes up and there's a wall there, and she's just looking back, look there, she looks there. I don't know why she's looking there for anyway, but she is for some reason. Then she actually hears something. She keeps looking back, and you know eventually something's gonna show up. Yeah, but I think you can have jump scares as long as they're done well, I suppose. Well, I mean, there's another scene where the girl's trapped in the warehouse or something, and she's trying to put the light back on the bulb. Like, just escape the room.
Just get out.
Why are you trying to fix the light bulb?
Just cut your losses.
But then again, it's a kid, so I cut you some slack. I mean, a grown-up would just jump through the window because she's trapped in this shed. So she's like trying to do this light up, and the camera goes back and forth. So it's like she hears a noise, she looks that way, comes back, and on the third time, something's gonna pop up, rah. And surprisingly, on the third time the camera pans, rah, something pops out. So I'm like, I did not see that coming. But I know, like I said, there are jump scares, you're gonna expect them. It's just how they're done, and if they're not overly done.
Yeah, I think that's the issue, and like sometimes when it's just like an inanimate object that falls off the shelf, and
you're like, stuff like that. Look, it's my shoe fell off. I'm like, that's not why. Like, it's stuff like that. But I wrote the review on the blog today actually, so have a read. It's great, cool. Amazing.
I think I'll have to write one for Dark Tower.
Yeah, I suppose, so I would definitely suggest any fans of the Conjuring franchise to definitely check it out, because if you enjoy the Conjuring, you'd like the whole connection he has to that universe, and also tease one of the characters in the Conjuring. Have you seen the second one?
No, I've just seen the first one.
It's got some demon nun, and like scary. I hate that demon nun. And like that demon nun is pretty much a fan favorite, because
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they kind of bring the nun into this as well, so they kind of hint at her backstory. And I think the next movie is already announced. It's going to be about this nun, and the nun's creepy, man. It's just like, I hated her in number 2, man. That's the worst part. Something about nuns, man. It's just creepy. Or blue face, yellow eyes. Trust me, just Google the name. You will,
Catholics and Christianity.
Yeah, exactly. So they tease that in as well. So if you're a fan of all that stuff, you'd really like it. So I definitely say it's worth a watch. I mean, it's at like 60-70% around on Rotten Tomatoes. So
that's not bad.
Yeah, it's a decent movie. It's not perfect, and it's not garbage.
It's not got that many plot holes.
No. I mean, there are a few. Like I said, I had a look, but it's not going to annoy you. I mean, as long as it does its job, it's perfectly fine. So yeah.
So you got a short review for it?
Short review, I'll say it's a vast improvement on the previous one, because I think it's really saved a vast improvement.
Okay.
Hyphen on the previous one in brackets, So, in brackets.
We're gonna start adding brackets.
Yeah, I mean, it's my rules, man. I can change it how I want. But yeah, it's definitely worth a check. And if you like your horror, go and check it out.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that pretty much brings a wrap. It's a quick now, we do them every week, so
yeah,
these shows
make them a little bit shorter.
Exactly, yeah, bite-sized chunks. They want to see us for 50 minutes.
I mean, I could probably talk for about 50 minutes about the Dark Tower.
I mean, we have our own YouTube channel. You can go and rant on there all you want and upload it.
I'm going to be sitting in my room like, guys, real talk.
Real talk.
Plot devices, plot holes, and cliches, man. I'm sick of it.
Yeah. So, when we actually got our own YouTube channel up, thanks to the guys, producers who've helped us out. Yeah, LB24 have helped us out with all this. So, if you're on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment. Nothing too hateful, please. I mean, otherwise, I'll just have to delete them.
If you think of any other movies that you want us to review or write any blogs for, that'd be a really nice suggestion.
Yeah, and our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think they're on the blog as well. So all the details are down here. I can finally do that now, down there. Feel free to check it out. And next week will probably be Detroit, Hitman's Bodyguard.
American Made, another Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Hopefully better than The Mummy.
Yo, man, what did you shoot me for?
Shoot me, I'm your friend.
I'm your friend, bro. What are you talking about? You're a demon now. But then again, I mean, hopefully Tom Cruise recovers. He had an accident on the set of Mission Impossible 6, and he's taking himself out for like 4 months now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did a stunt, and he just messed it up. So he was jumping across buildings.
Oh.
And he's literally just landed on his chest. So they've halted production for 4 months. And I respect the guy for doing all his own stunts.
Well, yeah, exactly.
He doesn't have to do that stuff. He's rich enough, pretty insured.
But I think it looks better. I think it's so much better with for me, Atomic Blonde, for the other.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
And for Mission Impossible.
I love the Mission Impossible franchise, but yeah, so hopefully he recovers soon.
He gets
and
better.
get back on finish filming the show, man, because I want to see Mission Impossible 6. Henry Cavill had his moustache as well, man.
Are you going to write another blog post about all of the Mission Impossible now, including 6?
Well, 6. Oh yeah, when it comes out, yeah.
When it comes out.
Yeah, but Ghost Protocol forever. So, anyway, I think that brings a wrap to this show. Thanks for joining us, and see you next week. Yeah. See ya. Bye.
Bye.